So, with the conclusion of the open test session for the Indy 500, I figured I might compile a couple of clips and highlights that I found interesting from both live streams. So let's go ahead and roll the clips. So during the first open test session, it was reported that Grosjean hit a bird while out on track, and later on he would go to corroborate this information in an interview where he talked about how he had blood all over his fire seat.
I think he hit the pitot tube and then went through the air vent, and some of it went through the air vent and some of it stayed on the air.
Now, I find this to be quite ironic given that, well, his nickname is the Phoenix and, well, he just hit a bird, so there's that.
You do see things as the caution flies again.
Another debris caution.
Another debris one.
It is in... Just listening to race control, there's a missing piece from a car that we need to find out there.
So it's a preemptive caution.
Yes.
Preemptive debris caution. We know there's debris somewhere, we just don't know where. So let's go track it down, make sure it's not on the surface.
Someone came back with something they left with not here.
Right.
So the yellow flag out for track inspection and to retrieve the missing piece from a race car. In the field for the Indianapolis 500, and as you look at the 14 car for Santino Ferrucci getting some work done.
That spring be moving like...
I'm free! A couple of add-on points to that story. HMD Motorsports field.
Knowing what happened during the entirety of the test session, I wonder if this clip coming up here foreshadowed what happened later on.
Winning strategist back to head the operation. What we got here?
It's a dramatic fire-up, I think. Sometimes the Chevy engines can be a little bit visual on startup, shall we say. Sorry.
The smoke show.
Yeah, I thought it was maybe something more off the top, but no one there seems too worried.
Nope.
Sorry, you were...
So it was at a certain point in the first day of the test session where Team Penske, all three cars of them, went out on track all together, exchanging positions and kind of all building up lap times to kind of figure out the draft, and I found this very interesting. Let's roll the clip.
As if this early they're trying to coordinate, but it does look like a formation, doesn't it?
When I was down in the Team Penske garage yesterday, they told me that they would take the opportunity to try and do some group runs and perhaps coordinate, especially later in the day with some of their other Chevrolet compatriots, a chance to have a bigger traffic run. And you know what always happens in this, right? Doesn't matter what manufacturer you run. You see some guys out there running in traffic and you say, oh, I want a part of that.
Yeah, normally once a group forms, everybody gets anxious and wants to get out there and be a part of it. But this is definitely a coordinated effort from Penske, and I mean, you love to see that early on. They're really getting to work on getting the race cars dialed in. This is, I would say, unlikely to be the conditions that we see on race day. You know, track temps 80 degrees, it's cool out, it's a bit overcast. But you never know.
You never know, that's right.
And so why not? You want to get that database of experience with this tire and this year's everything, under as many different circumstances and conditions as you possibly can. So, again, everyone's going to be out there from 2 to 6. The all-state session, I think we'll see a lot of group running there, especially with the threat of weather tomorrow. But I love seeing all three of the Penske cars starting early and moves are getting made.
So, changes from last year to this year. We touched on it during the morning session, but let's go to Georgia Hannaberry back in Gasoline Alley, who has a little more on that.
Yeah, Ellen, I sure am. I found myself in the Ray Hall Letterman Lanigan garage, and they are nice enough to let me demonstrate something new that's gone on these cars just today. So on the bottom of the side pods and the undercarriage, there are some flaps that if the car gets turned around, it tries to keep it on the ground, it tries to slow it down a little bit. But today, and for the rest of the month of May, they're implementing these flaps on the side pods as well. So you see the bright yellow there. So if the car gets turned around, these flaps will open just like this, hopefully slow the car down just a little bit, try to minimize any damage, but overall, more importantly, just try to make these cars a little safer. We know that IndyCar is always trying to make these cars as safe as possible, and these flaps, which you can find on each side pod, are just another measure in doing that. So I just wanted to show you, this is on Takuma Sato's car, and they will be on every car for the month of May.
Yeah, good look at it, Georgia. Thanks for that.
Although minor, Catherine Legge stalling as she was coming out of her pits to run a couple of test laps, it does seem like this could be indicative of some issues that she might have later on into the month of May once we get some official practices going on.
So Will Powers here a victory here.
So Catherine Legge attempting to leave pit lane for her first laps, quick stall. But we can get that fixed pretty quick, get that car fired up, try to get a few laps in, as many as she can in the 17 minutes remaining.
Yep. You might be able to get that first phase knocked out. And Ed Carpenter has officially completed his refresher. So Ed has now officially done all the required laps. Gear ready to go to climb back aboard that machine.
And you can see alongside the side pod here, this is that that wicker on the side that I was talking about. Really runs the length of the car to help prevent it from rolling over in a sideways, situation. If the car spins 90 degrees to stop the air from getting under it and rolling it over. So both sides of the car have that wicker now. That was introduced a few years ago.
I find this interview between Georgia Henneberry and David Malukas to be very interesting as it concerns David Malukas' hand.
This interview is also on camera, obviously. You wear the wrap on your wrist just to clear the air. Nothing is wrong with your wrist. Yeah. This is just precautionary, almost a superstition now?
Yeah, I mean, for me, there's nothing wrong. It's just I've been, ever since 2024, I've been using it, and now anytime I try driving without it, I feel like I'm driving with one hand. It just feels like something's not right. So now it's just almost, I get a wrap just because I'm so used to it now, and it needs to be that way.
Thanks, David.
Thank you.
Some of these things, you don't realize you're feeling them in the race car until you've seen them up close at 2 miles an hour walking.
The bump that they fixed off turn number 2, I knew there was a bump there, but then you get out there and you see it from up close and you're like, oh, now I get what they're talking about.
I'm surprised that's not a bigger deal.
Yeah,
I'm surprised the drivers don't complain about that more.
Yeah.
Lord knows we love to complain.
Well,
how was your experience as far as physically just running 3 hours out here?
Well, I mean, I came here back in November and tested and did a whole day and never once mentioned anything. And then all the Penske guys come here and I'm so tired. Oh, it's so hard. It's hot. Can we turn the heat down in Phoenix? I don't know if I'm going to make it. No. And I don't get it. I don't understand. I mean, maybe they just have like a ton more downforce than we do. I don't know. But I think it's fine. Is it going to be hard? Yeah, it's going to be hard. But guess what? Racing Indy cars is hard.
inside of the turn 2 exit and is not under power. And he's going to need some help to get back around.
Yeah, I saw him coasting as we were kind of watching some cars pull out of pit lane there. It almost looked like something was maybe loose. Maybe a wheel was left loose and he felt it, and rather than risk it coming off and obviously going into the racing surface, just wisely pulled over. But pure speculation on my part.
If that's the case, we'll know in a second, because if they just hook the tow rope up to it, then...
See, so you can see the replay. Here he's coming, and you just immediately see the car's wiggling, which to me indicates something's loose. Easiest explanation would be a tire. Could be something, could be a bigger failure, something in the rear suspension. But either way, they'll get him towed back, and they're leaving him in the car.
They're going to have to lift him to get him back. Look at the left rear tire angle as it sits there, whether that's anything different or not. I can't see from here.
Yeah, he's popping out.
But, whatever's mechanically wrong with the Rasmussen car, they're going to have to give it a lift up into the air, because one of those wheels may apparently be loose.
best way to describe this next clip is as IndyCar on Fox.
Okay, so full disclosure here. Watch slowly, top of the screen. There you are. That's the reason
He was hauling the mail.
for our yellow flag. Fox on the run, indeed.
Yes. Did a quick 180 off the wall. They're checking to make sure he didn't go into the safer barrier.
Despite both test sessions being quite uneventful in terms of clips and whatnot, this clip alone takes the cake between both days.
Yellow flag. Got a car in trouble. It's one of those green and black cars, and it's on fire.
It's Jack Harvey.
Yes, it is.
Oof.
Crew right there with the fire bottle. That's the first significant trouble we've seen all weekend. And the Dryer and Reinbold Racing team right there, along with some of the safety officials, and Jack quickly extricating himself from the car. Well, just a couple of hours from the end of day 2 of our Indy 500 open test, and trouble strikes. Unbutton it and make sure that the situation is under control there. Another look back at what happened to Jack Harvey, head of this line here. Wow, there was the first puff, and there's the rest of it. And look at all those cars behind him.
Amazing no one else
Wow.
got caught up in that.
Even in this second clip, just the cars going through this big smoke screen, aura farming to the max.
Jack leading that field all the way through, able to peel off. So a nice job by Jack acknowledging the fact that he had problems and everybody else starting to the right.
Let me know what you found interesting about this video, or some of the things that I may have forgotten to cover. As always, hope you enjoyed this video. Till next time.